How do we go? All right. Okay, gang. Who wants to recap last week for inspiration?
All right, I got it. I'll give you all time, but I will take all the inspiration I can get. So continuing the events at the Fey party, the Oberon and the Wild Hunt arrived, which interrupted Yop's long rest as we all kind of gathered at the what we realize now is like a dance floor main party room to watch the procession of Oberon and his hunters. We all kind of uh, split to go do our own thing. Yop and Krellick were on the dance floor. Vicaris went and spoke to Elias, who is the Lord of the Coral Court, and they sort of talked about Vicaris moving up in Fey society, starting out in the Court of Stars, and just kind of had some general advice. Elias's advice was somewhat countermanded by Goodfellow's advice, a little bit. While Yop and Krellick were dancing, eventually they absorbed Lauren into their dance, 8th grade dance style. Noel went and spoke to the Queen of Cats and made a Noel, Noel went and spoke to the Queen of Cats and made a deal with the Queen of Cats to try to get a positive fate boon, essentially, from the Fate Weaver, and the Queen of Cats would give Noel a temporary favor from the shadows. And Noel, while speaking to the Fate Weaver later, there was some pamphlets. They got along pretty good, but unfortunately, the Fate Weaver wanted something from Noel that Noel could not give, which was a certain amount of control over Noel's fate, which is already traded away. So Noel is on his way to speak to Frey and try to get some good luck from Frey to trade to the Fate Weaver, to trade to the Threy, sorry. To trade to give back to the Queen of Cats. Zashel had a conversation with Oberon, who revealed he has a certain amount of concern that Chandria may not succeed in this plan to lure in Fleos the driver and murder him here. And he offered us a sort of overriding contract. He said his magic would be strong enough to break Chandria's, with, instead of just keeping things out of the way for Chandria, we would basically protect her, like stay close and protect her. Eventually, after all of these conversations and dancing, we reconvened in the middle of the dance floor, basically, to discuss that, and we agreed to try to stick with our contract to Chandria, mostly because of the aid that Chandria has already offered us in killing Granny Nightshade. But we all sort of agreed that it would be a good idea to stay close as necessary and give Chandria support where possible. After that, there was a dance-off between Vicaris and Krellick, which Vicaris won, and Krellick was proud of his dance student. Lauren went off to rest her feet with a water bubble hiding under a table. Noel was speaking to Threy, and Zashel and Lucky Tango. And that's it. That's where we are.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Lauren, you've wandered off to sit quietly by yourself. Is there anything that you're doing on your own?
I don't think so. Besides people watch some more.
Okay. You are approached, actually, by the elf Elias, who you might not necessarily recognize by name, but with all of the notes that you have, could probably put that together. And he stands near enough to you, and seems to take what is like an active interest in you, and just asks you, rather politely, "What are you doing out here?"
Just resting. I'm not quite used to dancing, and my coworkers are very skilled at it. She kind of motions to them still on the dance floor, I assume.
Oh yeah. So you're with that group. Are
Yes.
are you from the material plane as well?
Yes, I am.
That's curious. And he kind of puts his hands like on his hips and tilts his head at you, and says, "You look
Why?
you just don't necessarily look like someone from the area."
I mean, I was born there.
Hmm.
My parents weren't necessarily from the material plane, but they've been there for as long as I've been born.
Really? No Fey blood though, I assume.
No, what?
Fey blood?
No, none. I don't think so. Pretty sure. Pretty sure there's none.
He has like a bit of a look of concentration focus as he tilts his head to the other side and is looking at you very closely. And he says, "You swim?
Yes.
And what sort of creatures in your from your home, I suppose, sort of come out like this?" And he gestures to you.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that question.
He blinks. He doesn't rephrase.
I just stare at him until I get any further explanation. After a while, she'll say, I still don't understand what you mean. I'm
What manner of
sorry.
creature are you?
Oh, I believe we're called Tritons. That's what some of the humans told me.
You believe?
That's what they said we're called. I That's not what we call ourselves.
Do you call yourselves?
She'll say whatever that name is in Primordial because I don't know what they would call themselves in another language.
Ah. He starts speaking in Aquan to you and says, "So you're from a colony? From a different plane?"
Uh, I believe we originally came from a different plane. Um, I wasn't much of a good student growing up. I am sure we'd had these lectures, but I kind of didn't quite listen to them. I was more interested in playing with the fishes.
And what sort of fishes were in your area?
She was like describing what they look like.
Is there anything she's doing, like, with her books or her body or anything? Like, is there any, like, nonverbal language she's
Uh,
trying to
she's
convey?
Yeah, she's moving her hand as if to convey the different size and shape of the fish, and like putting it to her face to mimic like fins and stuff and the faces the fish will make. And
That's cute.
I don't think she has any of the fish drawn in her book because that's like, oh, I already know that. I don't need to write that down.
Hmm. He takes what is very clearly like a genuine interest, and he says, "Is this your first time in the Fae, or do you
Yes.
make a regular habit of traveling planes?"
I don't. This is the first time I've traveled to another plane.
Really? Well, creature as your sort would actually find yourselves quite comfortable, uh, in my home, if you're ever interested in visiting. If you're interested neither academically, but more superficially. Uh,
Oh, I mean, if it doesn't interfere with work, I don't see why not. It's just I've heard that time works weirdly between planes.
Well, yeah, but mostly to most creatures' benefits, at least here anyway.
So I wouldn't lose a lot of time back home if I were to visit.
Oh, no, I mean, you might miss seasons if you were to stay here for a few days.
Oh, that's quite a bit of time. I don't think I can leave my position at work for that long. Seasons is quite a bit for um, people from the material plane, usually, I believe. I don't think any of us live as long as Fey folk. Not really. Or not to that extent.
What if I would offer you something? Would that be fair enough compensation?
What do you mean? What would you offer?
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly a great administrator of charms, but I have a few tricks up my sleeve. I might be able to offer you something that could provide some service to you, either factually servants, if you'd like, or more non-practical means of uh, magics. I'm not as good at those, but I'm not bad at them.
I'm sorry, did you say servants for the first one?
Yes,
I don't think I have any need for that. Is that something people commonly want?
everybody wants people doing boring labor for them, so not everyone has to do the menial tasks.
But wouldn't that be unfair to the people being asked to do such labor? Are they getting paid?
Of course they are.
Um,
If they're in my service, they do whatever it is I need them to do. And they do it with pleasure, joy. They're kind of made to do that.
she kind of makes a face at that. Maybe it's a cultural thing. But magical thing sounds interesting.
uh, sorry, I'm reading a couple of things. Well, I have some skills that might provide some small benefits. Uh, in exchange, of course, naturally, for your time, for you to spend time in the choral courts.
Yes, an exchange. My time for something. I'm not sure what the thing is. Would I know before accepting the offer?
He puts a hand through his hair and kind of runs it down his face and says, "I think I know one that might be beneficial, and it sort of helps you melt away and then return, uh, like this." And he vanishes in a spray of sea salt and fresh ocean air, and then and teleports 10 feet away on your other side, and then walks to you.
Is there a Is there a limit on the distance? How many time you were able to do that?
Well, I think it would depend on how long you wanted to stay.
Oh, so is me staying longer? Is that something that would make it stronger?
Yeah, yeah. It sort of has to do with the power of the exchange. The more you're willing to give, the more I can give. That makes sense?
Yeah, yeah, so things are fair and equal.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have to be after we help with the contract our group has made, to help in the upcoming fight, I believe.
Well, naturally. I'm going to be here for that as well.
Oh,
S-
okay. I wasn't sure who's here to just um dance and who's here to help with that. We have a contract and we can't break that. But afterwards, I don't think it would be an issue to
Uh,
take like a vacation.
he smiles and he says, "Oh, great. Wonderful. It's all underwater, in case that wasn't exactly clear, but I don't think that'll be a problem."
Oh, yes, yeah, no problem. That would be a lot easier than walking.
He smiles with you, and if you'll let him, he'll sit with you and keep talking for a bit,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
will. Yeah.
Yep,
Cool.
yep, sure. Yep.
All right. Uh, cool. Yup.
Yes.
What you doing?
I'm dancing with Betty.
Is that all you'd like to do?
Yeah, for the time being.
No problem. Just wanted to make sure because I think you did that all last session, and if there were people that had your interest, I wanted to make sure you got to speak with them.
No, I did some dancing with Krellick and with Lauren, and yeah, now I'm dancing with Betty and just chilling. I've got some stuff, but I don't want to deal with it right now. Maybe later.
Okay. That made it sound burdensome. All right. Then, Krellick, you here?
Yes, I am here.
All right. Anyone else you would like to be speaking to? Anything that you are doing?
I don't actually think so. I think Krellick is enjoying the atmosphere like of the party itself, but he has one singular goal in his mind, and doesn't have a lot of other thoughts beyond it.
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
I'll say.
I mean, I'd wrestle Oberon, but I just don't think that's going to be a good idea.
I think while you're doing your thing, which is like light mingling, but not a proper, conversation per se. You would definitely notice when Chandria finally does arrive. She is still in that stupid dress, and she is escorted by several of her courtiers as well. She just goes to sit at the same place as Oberon, but there is a great berth given between the two of them. She looks bigger.
She's even bigger? Son
Yeah.
of a bitch. How does she do it? Is she wearing heels? What's happening? What kind of pumps she's got?
Why don't you roll a perception check?
Okay.
Krellick dear, would you like to go shopping for some heels?
How dare you? How dare you? I'm trying to load my sheet actually right now. Oh wait. Okay, I thought that would take longer. Hold on, perception. It's a 9.
You better hope it's heels. She doesn't look much taller, but like there is a weird like spatial affectation. There's something very strange upon looking directly at her that kind of gives you a headache.
Yeah. I'd like to. I'll go hang out with my man Grox. And see. Try to get a better angle on what's going on with Chandria here. I'll straighten my hat, stand tall, straighten my posture a little bit.
You go up to them, and they kind of look you up and down. You can see the kind of glittering light under their hood, and they just say, "You look taller."
Thanks, I've been working out.
Are you having fun?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good little thing here. At first I thought he was like crazy that, there's like a whole war happening outside, and then we's in here, drinking bubbly, hobnobbing and all that. But,
Mhm.
it's everyone seems into it, so I figure, winning the fight.
They nod. When the war has been going on for centuries, you just tune it out. Getting a little closer, you see again this kind of weird distortion around Chandria. You know now that there is like some illusion, some glamour that is affecting her physical appearance. But like everything around her looks as if it is warped and shrunk. And there's maybe the possibility that like she has not actually grown anymore, but that the space around her is being forced smaller, and she looks bigger.
I'll kind of lean to Grox and like nod towards her and say,
Are you seeing that? Don't Lady Shan look all weird like?
Kind of look at you. Weird how?
She's like like sometimes if you're on a beach and it's real hot, right? It's like the air's all shimmery.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she's got like it's like coming off her like that.
Shh. They just shush you.
I just quizzically look at him.
What?
Their head kind of turns in the direction of Chandria, and says, "Do you speak treason?"
No, I mean I know how to speak common and orcish, and I can speak Orquin.
You're smart. They kind of wave for you to follow them, and they start walking away from the overlook.
Cool. I give. I look at Lady Chandria, like kind of scrunch my furrow my brow a bit at her. Right. I don't yet understand what is happening.
Mhm.
But I'll go follow Grox. I grab someone's drink out of their hands and follow him.
You see that she is holding like her own posture. She's not projecting a posture at all. She has like her arms back and her legs extended, but she is still like fitted and dressed. She's actually wearing some of the rubies that were given to her by you guys. And when you are farther away, Grox says, "The lady fears Oberon."
Oh, they said the one that came in all fancy like.
Yes.
Yeah, people talk about him like he's big cheese.
He is. He is a creature from the dawn of this world.
It sounds like Big Cheese.
Yes. And he does not like the princess very much. She is...
What's not to like about her? I mean, she's big and strong.
Their hands sort of twist together and they say, the rumors of the higher councils suggest a failing in her bloodline. They call her the niece of Titania, but it is more of an insult than anything. Her true lineage is mostly unknown.
I mean, I don't know nothing about that, but I feel bad for whoever says that within earshot of her.
Do. In fact, in the higher councils, it is said that that is the only name she is referred to as. She does not like this event, but it is mandated.
Well, I mean, she puts on a pretty good party for someone who doesn't like doing it.
Yes, she does well. All considered. Not as fair as some of the other courts can muster, but we all understand the ordinary duress of the princess, and as High Warlord, her interests are elsewhere at best.
I take a look at my man Grox here, and then ask them,
Hey, how do you know all this anyway? Ain't you like, I mean, don't you work for acquisitions?
Mm-hmm. I do.
mean, you said, yeah, but you said you was all like invited and you was at the big table.
Oh no, I'm going to be at your table.
Well, what tables we sitting at?
I believe you should be at table 2. There will be one spot reserved for you at the high table, but that is for one member of your number.
I was probably first pick, but they might have probably like Vicaris or Zeshul or someone.
That's a shame. I'm sure they would love to have you at the first table.
Yeah, they's missing out, that's for sure. Well, hey, hold on, you was tricking me. How's you know about all this?
You see like a glint of of their teeth under their hood as they smile. And they say, "It is my business to know these things. In order to become known, you have to know." I believe your friend Vicaris might be in a similar... may be of similar interest as I am.
So what, you like angling to get, a name for yourself here and then, what, you just gonna quit on me?
Quit? Unlikely. In fact, I intend very much to be a dignitary between the two planes. Not to mention, my people and our lord are not particularly well liked within the Council of Stars. My master is more tricksy than the rest of them, and they find it quite offensive often. I wish to represent him positively. show the asset of the satyr.
Well, I mean, between you and me, I think your asset's fine.
Thank you.
Crooks, hey, can I show you something about, my abacus?
Yes.
Uh,
I
I-
don't make a habit of doing material work this time, but for you.
I take it out and I show him the thing, and there's still the line for Yumi, and I say,
Should I get rid of this, or should I keep it?
The data has been collected and recorded. There is no need for you to keep it, but if it makes you feel better to have it, you are welcome to keep it. So long as it does not interfere with the rest of your recording. He pulls out
Okay.
his own abacus and shakes it side to side, and instead of little skulls, they are brightly colored beads that are all individually painted. And as they spin on the dowels, as they move, the patterns change. And he says, "I'm quite old. I have been with many franchises over many years, and many names have passed over this abacus. There are some that I like to keep for myself."
I feel it's like, a way of remembering.
Yes.
Actually, one more thing. Maybe you can settle this for me once and for all. Okay, you see this line here, right? This is all Lauren's, yeah? And it's like, you see how it's split, right? Half of them is when she's not killing something, and then the other half is when she is killing something. And she said to me that, I shouldn't count the ones that she's not killing. And I said, you putting in the effort, it all counts. And, I just want to know what you think.
You can hear them scratch their beard. No, I don't believe those do count.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I understand, but certainly you don't count all of the creatures that another member of your party has nearly killed, and then another happens to have actually put down, decapitated on their own. Those would be still assigned to the one who had actually done the killing blow, correct?
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like the intent, right?
Does she
The in-
intend to kill them?
Well, these ones she didn't intend to kill, but I mean, it's she's that done it.
Well, if she didn't intend to kill them, then they do not count as dead, and do not sit on your abacus.
I think maybe we have a different opinion on this.
It would appear we do. I am your boss.
I think my work is accurate.
So long as they are kept separate and I can reference this in your reviews.
The skulls for Lauren's non-lethals turn white.
There. Now it's easy to see.
You see them nod?
I didn't see you dancing out there.
They turn their head out to the dance floor where there are a number of other satyrs who are handily the rowdiest members of the crowd. And they say, "No."
Yeah, not everyone's, got the spirit for it. I've got a few more questions if you want to go, sit down.
They nod and gesture out.
Cool. I just quiz his mind. Well, I just talk shop. Talk shop with him.
No problem. Okay. We're checking on Zashel.
Yo.
What you doing, bud?
After the tango has finished, anyone still in the vicinity sees and probably struggles to figure out why Zashel is baring his teeth, and it takes a while to realize that it is in fact a smile, because he's never actually smiled before.
You okay?
And he will bow over Lucky's hand and thank you. I don't think that I've ever done that successfully before. I need to go deal with some work stuff. I'll see you. And he just walks away.
Bye, Zash. And she wanders off. And where do you go?
I would like to go talk to Chandria and Oberon, but not at the same time. Because
Please, not at the same time. Please don't make me do that.
That
was me. I'm fine doing that. I just don't. I don't think you want to do that. Is what I mean.
No, he definitely wants to go speak to Chandria first.
Okay. You can approach. You are allowed through. There is not so much of a crowd surrounding her as there is Oberon, and the folks around her are naturally, again, more of her own attendants, but many guests who are currying favor as well.
Okay. When he gets up there and he is allowed near, he will once again and say, I wonder if I might clarify a certain portion of the contract we have previously discussed. I understand our role in the upcoming event. What I require clarification on, if I could, is really two things. How this will be reported upon. I'm sure, given our last contract, you understand that there is a certain protocol that I would request. But also more pertinent to the upcoming event is exactly what the expectation is for our execution of this plan. I will... Can I simply assume that your hangers-on here know what is going on and I don't have to couch this in secrecy? I can speak plain.
Didn't you sign a contract saying that you would be private and secretive about it?
Absolutely. That's why I was not sure how much is understood by your... And he looks around at all the hangers-on and just says, friends here. If that is an issue, if perhaps we could speak elsewhere a moment.
She takes a deep breath and picks herself up off the couch and begins walking with you. And then she actually goes down to the floor and begins to walk through one of these mirrors.
Zashel will do his best to keep up. Hopefully not bonking straight into a mirror.
All right. The room beyond is a very comparatively brightly lit room that is comfortably outfitted with couches and cushions and a fire in a hearth. She is lowering her head so that she fits into this room, um, and puts a hand out to the glass. You hear the crackle of what sounds like ice and frost over it. And from this side, you can see just onto the dance floor as if it is a window. And she says, "What questions do you have?"
Um, I've asked Bishop, but I would appreciate the full understanding from you. How we have seen the battlements, we have seen the giants outside, and I don't know what this battle normally looks like. There's no not dramatic way to ask this question. Exactly how bad are things going this time?
You see her stiffen. And she says, "I am under no obligation to answer that question."
That is true. I do hope you understand I don't ask it out of any sense of judgment or whether or not we should maintain this contract we have signed, and we will live up to everything that we have put
Good.
forth.
I would expect nothing less.
We would offer nothing less. More, I am trying to determine. The contract stipulates we must keep the chaff, the rabble, away from you. I am trying to determine mostly where you expect this to be done. Are we... Are we
With the
just
trap set as it
wherever?
will.
Or perhaps... I'm sorry, good.
With the trap set as it is designed, the driver himself is going to be pushing his forces through that main door, and once he has entered it himself, that is when I will personally become involved, as will many of the other Archfey who are here. Your job is to keep everything else that he is going to be driving through that door away from me at all costs, and stay out of my way. Do you understand?
It's the last part that I'm not clear on.
I don't understand how I could be more clear.
The definition of out of your way is my hang-up. I will guess that Fleos will drive many of these creatures towards you, hoping to soften you up, as it were, before he engages. I imagine if he's wise enough to be the thorn that has so clearly he become, then I imagine he is not foolish enough to simply head right into the fray and be surrounded on all sides. I have no doubt that he expects a single combat, a single confrontation, which of course we are not. You have made it clear that our interference in that would be almost suicidal on our parts. The chaff that is driven at you, that is our focus, and so we should be near enough to you to defend you from them if necessary. Yes? Am I understanding this point correctly?
Do everything in your power to keep them as far from me as possible.
Which then is, I assume, dead is preferable to far. Far and
It's-
alive, or dead and close, we go dead and close.
If such stipulations must be made, then yes, I suppose.
I think that has clarified the things that were still troubling me. The rest can be worked out once this has succeeded. Is there anything about his forces that we should know? We've seen the giants, and while I've never dealt with a Fomorian, I have gathered that they are rather dangerous forms of giants. Is that the bulk of his forces? We have faced Nightshade's Oni bodyguard, and they were significantly deadly.
You should expect the same. Fleos is a master of his own kind, but also there is no small chance that there will be other giant kind amongst his particular hunting party. I cannot tell you what exactly to expect other than they will be very big compared to you.
Fortunately, there are a few new tricks since the last time we've been graced with your presence, so hopefully that should be enough. Please understand that I ask this next question, out of concern for the completion of this contract. When we first came and you demonstrated to Vicaris the reason that this giant has become such a thorn in your side, it was not at all difficult to see the faltering of an illusion. I assume...
What are you saying?
How bad is your lingering injury? And is, more importantly, I assume that there is one of two situations. Either you've had your people try to heal you, and it has not worked, or has not been enough, or to maintain a certain, shall we say, facade of a facade of integrity, you have hidden the injury from them. I cannot offer a great deal, but whatever magical reserves I have are at your disposal if you require them. That is all.
Could you make me a persuasion check?
27.
You can hear and see a crackle of electricity that bounces between her fingers as she clenches her hands into a fist and crosses her chest. You mean to suggest that I might be unfit for such a demonstration?
Not in the slightest. I understand on a much smaller and lower level than what you must deal with that there are times when a leader must present a facade to the people whom they lead that serves to bolster the morale of those around them, even as it is a detriment to the leader. It is simply part of the mantle. But as I understand it, I am offering my assistance in any way while we are here, away from anyone with prying eyes and loose tongues that might undermine the work that you are doing here, undermine the show of strength that is made for the others who might turn tail and cower.
There is a stiff silence as you can hear almost her teeth grinding. And she considers for a minute, staring you down. And there is a change as part of this illusion begins to melt back. And there is deep scars across her face. Darkened, blackened, necrotic influence over her skin that reaches from her arm up the side of her face. Her arm seems to be moving as you had seen before, with fluidity and normalcy. But there is a flickering expression of pain as her muscles tense.
I would like to cast Detect Magic and just sort of peer at her and see if I can use that along with Zashel is trained in medicine. Just sort of see if I can figure out, is this magical just scarring? Is this some sort of and I will just ask, how did this happen?
The Fomorians are strong, and they spread their curse like an infection. She is immediately radiating all of the natural elemental power that she has control of, but there is a black vacancy in that aura that is surmounted by necromancy over that side of her body.
There is something I can do. I will need a material that I don't have on me. I will need to speak to our hordes person briefly, or if you are willing to part with a sizable gemstone and are comfortable with that, we can speak to Bishop. Either way, perhaps I can assist you here.
Her other hand flicks gently to the side. There is a flash of red flame over the glass, and the ice melts.
I will return shortly. And Zashel will walk through the glass and try to find Vicaris. I need a diamond. I know we bought a bunch very recently.
Doug isn't here, so I'm going to leave that up to the party's judgment. You guys can talk above board if you need to a little bit.
I basically want to grab one of the Greater Restoration diamonds that we got for Noel, because Zashel can also cast that spell.
Is the horde sheet accurate?
I think so, yeah.
It better fucking be.
I mean, I don't see any problem then.
Because I mean, I know we bought a bunch of diamonds specifically for spell components, which...
The only thing that I might add is, I'm guessing if this is something to help Chandria out, Vicaris would probably want some credit for it.
Yes, although in the interests of keeping Chandria's secret, Zashel is not saying exactly why he needs it.
Fair enough.
Which, yeah, no, you're right. That would definitely be a...
You're gonna have to put in a good word.
Basically, yes. Like, this is something for the franchise. This is to assist the chance of mission success. There is... I mean, I don't actually have the gold to put in to buy it, but actually I do. With a couple platinum. But yes, Zashel is definitely willing to do that. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't see a reason why Vicaris would say no.
Oh, there you go, Cody.
Yes, okay. So if you come ask for one of the sets of like dust for this thing, yes, I will give it to you. I have 2 sets for 2 Greater Restoration currently on me.
Oh, okay. I see them listed in the Horde, so I thought they were in the Horde.
No, they are specifically on me right now in order to use them. So I have 2 sets of diamond dusts for this thing.
Then that is exactly what I would do.
Yes.
Is go see.
Yeah.
Noel.
Sorry, I was like talking and it wasn't. I was like, wait a minute, am I muted? No. Huh. So yeah,
Sure
easy
you
enough. I can give you one of those.
So we would know that Noel has them and not in the Horde.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah. It
I
happens-
remember we had the discussion before we left.
Well, yeah, you would at least know that Noel specifically asked and requisitioned them.
Okay.
So, in theory, if Noel's using them, he should have them on him.
Then
Yeah.
yes, Zashel will go find Noel, who I'm sure by now is speaking to Thray, or is possibly done with Thray.
On his way. We'll play with time a little bit so we don't have to... Yeah.
Noel, I need to, I assure you this is for mission security, the smallest diamond dust pouch. I need one that you have available. Honestly, if I could borrow them both just to be sure. I will obviously make sure that you are compensated, and if I do not need the second, I will return it to you immediately.
Do you need me to cast it?
No, I can take care of it. It is. There is a certain secrecy to this. It is probably best if I do not imperil someone else's secret.
Noel will nod and reach in and hand you one of the dust, and in the sign like language say, I'm assuming this is for, and then like a beat, her. Paperwork later. As he turns to walk towards Thread.
Zashel just nods, and we'll head straight back to the mirror.
On the other side of the mirror, she has sat herself on one of the couches, which is melting around her.
Yeah, Zashel will go over. He will retrieve the very, very fancy urn type. I can't think of the actual name for it, but the thing that Liru gave him the last time they spoke, and
The
he will set
reliquary?
that on. That's reliquary. That's the word I'm looking
reliquary, yeah.
for. And sort of crack his fingers, pull up the gloves a little bit, make sure, and then where did I put the glasses? I will go ahead and cast Greater Restoration.
You feel the powerful resistance that this curse has on her, and in fact you know by watching as part of it begins to exude and melt like a venom being pulled from her skin, that you will not be able to move all of it.
Okay. I will do as much as the spell will allow.
Mm-hmm. Still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it seem to make any difference at all, or is it just...
It certainly does.
Okay.
Yes, it is just not a complete. This is clearly not all that must be done.
Okay. Well, that I expected would have done a little more than that, but
She looks at you with just exhaustion and frustration.
Do you know what is required to fully cleanse this? Is there anything that will do that?
I wouldn't know. Perhaps death of a creature that has bestowed it upon me. There is no way to know.
Well, I hope that at the very least in the short term this is enough. If you would like, I can speak to my colleague. He is. He was not with us the last time we were here, but it is possible that he might be able to do something that I am incapable of. Aside from this malady, this curse, is there anything else? Are you still injured? Is there...
I'm
sorry, all I heard was I'm.
fine. Why don't you roll me a persuasion check?
I'm going to spend an inspiration up. I don't think... It's certainly better than my 12, but I have more. All right, might as well. You know what? There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
That took 3.
What's the sunk cost? Never heard of it.
Sunk cost fallacy. No. I do not judge, and I will not speak. I only want to help as much as I possibly can.
Which one of your colleagues are you referring to?
The Furbolg, Noel the Scrivener. He is
Fine.
unusual, even for our franchise, but he is also perhaps among the most reliable in healing matters.
Fine. She waves for you to go.
Zashel will reach up and take Quetzal off his shoulder and hold him out. While I am away, if you should need anything, my companion here can contact me.
There's a look of what is that look? Just
Disdain.
yep, that's it. That's the word.
That's the word. Yeah, that doesn't shock me. I will just set Quetzal down on the couch, like on the arm or something away from her, and then Zashel will go back out through the mirror.
You are halted somewhat as you are crossing. Where are you off to again?
Is this when I'm still in the room, or once I've
No,
crossed through?
once as you've passed. Yes, as you've passed through the glass.
I need to speak with a colleague.
Mm-hmm.
Hello again.
Hello. You've taken quite a bit of our host's time. What are you doing in there?
Contract renegotiations of a sort.
Oh, sounds
It
dreadfully
is.
boring.
I suppose some might find it that way. It is. I suppose if you spoke to my friend over there, and he'll point at Noel, it is. Well, I don't know if exciting is the right word, but at least enjoyable.
And I'm sure the princess is quite fond of this, yes?
Oh no. No, I'm sure I am making her mood considerably worse. But
Oh dear. Perhaps she needs some rescuing. He kind
You
of.
are called the
off
Prince of
direction.
Hearts, right?
Yes.
And you told my friend Krellick you can sense the bonds between creatures.
I can.
I wonder then if you would test that on my person. I am curious, given the nature of, and I am going to keep walking towards Noel while I am speaking. I am curious, given the nature of my kind. I am curious, given the nature of the Yonti, how well your gift works on us.
No, it's not so easy as I would wish. In fact, it makes you quite a fascinating specimen. I've had my ear out for you for most of the day, as it happens. Oh, you and, actually, your furball companion have been quite compelling to me. No, you have a fascinating connection. It's almost a facsimile. There are creatures that have threads that tie to you, though you have only superficial ties in return. One or two seem to be stronger than others. In fact, there are some that even seem nearly real.
Yes. Do elaborate.
Elaborate. Elaborate on what, dear?
I am curious about these connections. You deal in a subject which I can understand only academically.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunate for you, it's not particularly actually an academic.
I don't understand.
Not an academic. What's the word? Exploration. I can speak to you for years and years and years until your body fell apart and you perished in front of me about what it is to feel something and to want to be wanted, felt. But that does not mean that you will ever, without work, at least, and if nothing else, well, creatures of your sort I've had very little interaction with. However, all creatures with souls feel these connections. Some of these connections are colored, if you will. There is a bond between members of your party that intersect like a fine, iridescent spider web. There is compassion and kindness, care, displeasure, distaste. Yours are hung about you as fine threads that have been driven through fabric but not yet tied. They are real, but it requires you to tie a knot. And I don't know if that is a thing that someone like you is properly capable of doing. Perhaps you could enlighten me.
I would love to continue this discussion. Give me one moment to speak to my companion, and I will. We can find somewhere to speak of this. If we are anywhere near Knoll.
What will you give me in return?
Hmm. I don't rightly know what I can offer you. Other than... Hmm. Well, I suppose that will depend on what you can explain for me. There are two of these connections that I am most interested in.
Hmm. I will think about what I would like to ask of you. He turns and he leaves. And you can speak with Noel again.
Is this before Thray?
I think it's going to have to be.
Okay. While I'm walking to Thray, I guess before I get intercepted, can I do a history check on what I know about Thray? Or if the name Thray means anything to me?
Yeah. Yes. I think we're actually going to let you. Ooh, no!
Wow.
I think we'll actually let you talk to Thray before.
Don't know
Atlas actually
anything.
meets you. I mean, you know that he is an archfey.
I should
And
just assume he's an archfey, and I
Yeah.
don't know literally anything else.
Yeah, he is an archfey, and as indicated to you by the Fate Spinner,
Mhm.
he is a member of the Green Court under Oberon, a guest on his behalf.
And yeah, if we want to do that before Zash catches up with me, I'll approach him.
I think that's a good idea.
I'll
Uh,
bow.
He is surrounded by more of the hunters, though this seems to be a very specific selection. Amongst them, there is a horrible, gigantic dog with glowing red eyes, and it appears to be weeping. There is a centaur who is painted as a warrior, and Killjoy is also here.
Mhm. I'll bow and say, Lord Thray.
Master Firbolg.
Kind of you.
Might there be a
Uh,
name we might use for you?
No. If you must use title, Scrivener.
Scrivener.
Mm-hmm. A religious rank.
I see.
I am here to perhaps engage in bargain.
You wish to bargain with me? He seems genuinely surprised.
Indeed. I intend to procure a boon from the Spinner of Fate. He nods his head over in her direction. She bid me then to see what would be required to acquire a boon of good fortune from you.
A boon of good fortune for the Fate Spinner.
Specifically, yes.
His brow creases. He sits forward and rubs his chin. This is truly an expensive item. This is something that would value a lifetime of immortal servitude. To hand my favor to the Fate Spinner could very well spell my own demise.
I was not aware that it was so grave a thing. My apologies if I caused any offense in requesting. Null will incline his head.
No offense. I deal with mortals more frequently than most. I understand the ways of the court parley are not familiar nor intuitive to your kind. I might take a debt, a lifetime of servitude, in exchange for this.
Unfortunately, I cannot give my life to servitude. It has been sworn.
Is there another?
Another that I can give to you.
Perhaps.
I do not think so. Or if there was, I am not capable of making that compact. I have items of value on my person, but I do not believe they will be of use to you commensurate to the cost.
What items might you have?
I have my... he'll hand a... let me look at it real quick. Yeah, he'll hand a tier 2. That just says, I, Null Scrivener, am informing you that I enjoy spaces that are dry and cold. As apologies for the rudeness of my interruption. This is an example. Specifically, designation tier 2. There are 2 higher, each increasing in value to me subjectively. Emotional valence, I believe, is the term.
He examines the paper. He reads it a couple of times and he says, "Your apology is appreciated. And I assume the highest level is of precious value."
It is. It is
Since
not my preference to give this out.
Perhaps then we might be able to trade rather in the form of information. The thought.
Interesting. I take that to mean that you believe there's information that I would find useful.
I take it to mean that you might have information that I might be able to take from you in exchange for my fate for the Fate Spinner.
Specifically, you wish to take a reworded version of one of these, which does not stipulate my keeping it, yes?
That would be correct.
Might I be permitted to have a moment to consider this thing?
A thought is a mighty thing to lose. He gestures for you to excuse yourself.
Yeah. Null will nod and say, I will give you my answer shortly, in addition to a contract sealing the terms. If they are amenable, then we will see this thing done. If, however, I do not choose, I will inform you likewise, and we will consider this a pleasant exchange. Yes?
We shall.
Mhm. Thank you, Lord Thray.
Okay. Zashel bumps back into you.
Mm.
Through the mirror I've come through, our hostess requires your attention. I
Do you want
will.
me to go myself, or do you want to accompany?
You go. I will keep the Prince of Hearts from interrupting.
What is the manner of this liaison?
Given our previous conversation, a similar vein. I worry my magical power was not enough. There may be something perhaps more that you are capable of which I am not.
It is grave, then. Understood. Noel will nod and start walking towards the mirror indicated.
All right. You are allowed passage.
Mhm.
Yep. You. She's festeringly cranky.
Mhm. Hello, milady.
She snorts.
I find it best to remain formal. I am told that there's something that I can help you with, yes?
She doesn't say anything. Her glamour is removed. You see this malady.
Hmm. Before I examine this, would you prefer a contract dictating my secrecy in this matter?
She looks at you, and lightning crackles near her eyes, and she says, "Swear it now."
Noel considers for a beat longer than probably is good. I swear that I will not give this information away.
There is a dimming to your vision for a second,
Mm-hmm.
and she nods and lets her arm drop from its folded tight across her chest.
Yeah, as I'm walking over, I'm going to cast. Well, I'll actually take a moment. No, I'll cast Detect Magic with my Furbolg once a
Okay.
day.
Yeah, you see the same
Uh,
thing that Stash would have seen.
Yeah. So I guess first I'll look at it and examine Arcana check with Detect Magic on.
Sure, yeah.
I guess to see what I see. I'll blow an inspiration just because I can't. Well, yeah, I can't have just a nat one. Although if I have to do a dispel magic, nah, I gotta blow it. We'll see if I get something terrible. Much better.
I mean, it is blatantly a curse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Arcana is going to be able to indicate to you better what would be the best way of removing said curse.
Yeah.
Identify might do it, but you don't have
Yeah.
that spell.
No. I guess then the first thing to try Noel would just try to do a simple remove curse.
Okay. I will
I'll
say that
spend the slot.
in the same fashion that it does visually reduces the harm that is upon her body, it does not entirely remove it. Which does make sense because she is in a heavy, like, Arcana influenced city, and even if she had, like, trusted medics, like, the this would have been handled by now if it were that simple.
Yeah. Huh. So yeah, the Arcana check can't tell me like ballpark how, other than it is clearly incredibly powerful, or it's just constructed of a lot of different little curses.
Mhm. I would say that it would feel very likely to be the latter.
Okay. A lot of little curses.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna regret using a 5th level on this, huh? Mm. Gotta decide what level to try Dispel Magic at. Because it will matter. Okay. Yeah, I think I have to value her being in peak fighting condition over my own 5th level spell slot, so I will attempt to cast Dispel Magic at 5th level.
Roll me a wisdom check.
Before I do, I will draw a little sigil into my hand to cast guidance.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to do it's just a wisdom attack, right? Basically.
A wisdom roll, yes. With a d4.
I mean, it's about as good as I'm gonna get. I can't ask for much better.
There is a papering of your own flesh
Mhm.
that begins to bleed over to hers as her skin is slowly reconstructed by word. And the black and green ichor just begins dropping onto the couch like a sludge as it is very slowly removed from her body.
Yeah, I think Noel like reaches out with the left hand to touch and do this thing, and like the like papering is also like accompanied by an almost like visible like shriveling of his left hand as like he's trying to maintain it and keep it on for long enough to get rid of all of them. I think like after it's clear that it's finished and they start to drop off, Noel like take has like an audible like low grunt and takes a step back and kind of like doubles over for a second, clutching his forearm.
Her arm extends and flexes as she examines it.
That is the best I could do.
It is enough.
As Noel like flexes his arms, it's like the color's clearly coming back to it. Like the words that are like written on it are starting to like slowly dissipate as he's like straightening back up, still breathing heavy. Will that be all you require?
For this transaction, yes.
Yeah, Noel will nod and say, I am glad that you will be in peak condition for what comes next then.
I appreciate your assistance.
Yeah, Noel will nod, and then, like, with a gesture, he'll pull out a contract, and the contract simply says that the verbal agreement is binding on a legal level per AQ, like protocols, and as a adherent to Jurgle. Like, essentially 2 extra layers on top of a verbal contract with a Feylord to say that he will not mention this. Well, specifically, he will not give this information away. And he will sign it himself and doesn't expect her to sign it. He'll just show her for a moment if she wants to look at it. And then he'll file it away.
She signs it.
Yeah. And then files it away. And I think Noel, like, still doesn't make eye contact or anything, just nods respectfully and turns to leave without saying anything else.
All right.
Woo! I did it, y'all! All it costs is a 5th level spell. Which I probably didn't need to cast at 5th level. But I was hoping I could street sweep some of the little ones.
Hey, you know, it never hurts. Better be safe than sorry.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I call it worth it. That was worth it.
Hell yes.
Mhm.
I, the player, am very happy for you. Krellick will remember this.
Oh, the fact that I may have buffed her for your brawl.
Yup.
Oh, honestly didn't think about that even once. I'm so sorry. I'll cast Death Ward on you. You want to Death Ward?
No, I think Krellick will be fine because last time he didn't fight to kill him. It's just a friendly combat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Besides, how bad would Krellick feel if he won only to find out that she was not fighting in, like, peak form?
I'd feel great.
Shut up! Shut your filthy mouth. We're going to take our 15. We'll be back at 5 after. It's a 10. We'll be back at 5 after. It's a
Cool.
10-minute break. Whew.
Some interesting stuff
I
there.
was fucking dying at Lauren's complete obliviousness to Elias hitting on her. I was muted the whole time because I could
So
not
good.
stop myself from laughing. It was so good.
Oh, what? No, she knew. How she was. She didn't want to explicitly respond to it because she thought you're supposed to be subtle about those kind of things. Like you don't talk about such offers that much in public. You keep it discreet, right?
Yeah, he was reasonably discreet. He
No,
was like, "Do you
I
want to
mean-
come and hang out at my castle for a couple of days?"
I meant Lauren's reaction. She was trying to be discreet of, yeah, sure, but I can't just leave what I'm doing.
That was a very sweet thing. He's like, "I can't just leave work."
Well, I did sign a contract with Acquisitions Incorporated, which I guess is more loose than, say, the contract of fighting the Spore thing. But yeah. Just gotta ask No for help on paperwork. Like, how do I fill out this form for extended vacation time?
Yeah, it's like I need a
And
vacation.
prove
For...
that I'm
okay.
getting something of benefit out of this.
You will have to be more specific.
Well, I mean, it's this magical ability that lets me teleport, I believe. I can't show you because I don't have it.
And in exchange, you are giving what?
Companionship?
I just blinked 4 times out of character. You couldn't see it.
Hey, that is an accurate word.
What manner of companionship?
Don't think that should matter.
It does.
Why? We'll just say all forms.
Ah,
I don't want to say just one and then leave out other things.
So it is not to be a recreational visit.
Well,
There is a form for that. It is separate.
it's not recreational.
It is a business.
Yeah, I think we need to
trip.
pause so that this is in character because this is fucking outside.
Is this not currently in character?
I was doing the in character, but we need to have this
Yeah.
conversation
Keep
later.
going. Ignore me.
We
then.
need to have this
Keep going.
conversation later. After we're out of the Fae, would we have a moment? You have to come to me to ask to do paperwork for a booty call.
Hey, what if I want to ask it while we're in the Fae? Because what if
I mean,
this is going to happen right after the combat?
that's fair, I guess.
Just
look.
pulling you to the side after you're done healing.
Yeah, I'm having a busy day. Everybody needs something. Nola's the belle of the ball all of a sudden.
Oh, you're the one with the best paperwork. Maybe I'll ask Zashel. Like, he's not the official paperwork person, so.
I mean, Zeshel knows about stuff. He's got a good head for paperwork.
Yeah, but you have the form.
I do have all the forms. And I can generate a pre-written contract.
Yep. I love
Doc-
that.
Documents are overpowered. Nothing could be so strong. In the Fae court, it makes me unto a god. Just present a
Don't they hate
pre-made
paperwork,
contract.
though?
The Fae?
Yeah, or maybe that was just.
Eh. Some of
No.
them do, I think. But for most, I think they just see it as another version of like contract exchange,
Oh, I was
similar
gonna
to verbal.
say, maybe that was just Chandria because she's
Oh, no, yeah.
combating and she just doesn't like paperwork. And I
Yeah.
assume they all hate paperwork.
Yeah, Chandria sounds like she has her own specific like thinking paperwork is just bullshit.
Oh, we're warriors, and we know our word is oath, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah, they do a lot more like verbal stuff generally.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I don't think a lot of them might actually like paperwork because there's less room to maneuver.
mhm. Well, it's not their domain, really. They're great at a verbal contract. But then you run up against somebody who knows how to write a bunch of words on a page, and you're like, oh, full fuck, this is no fun. You have provisions for like every sneaky trick I was gonna try to do.
Any loophole I didn't physically say. It's all written out. I can't just say some bad thing and get away with it.
I'm looking forward to seeing all
It's
of the
that because
myriad.
they can't lie like just straight out. It's more
Yeah.
of a like
Yeah.
open-ended comments.
Yeah, they can lie by omission. They can lie by like
I
Up.
was sorry, go ahead.
like obfuscation, I guess. It's just like cloaking whatever it is you asked, either in another question or in an answer that is related but not like obviously related.
I was a big fan of Grox being able to change the subject and Krellick being like, "Hey, don't, hey!"
No, stop it.
Got that headband now. He knows when he's being played.
Yeah, he's smarter than me.
Krellick is a smart boy.
He's smarter than Noel now.
I'm pretty sure Krellick is the second smartest person in the party, behind Yop.
Yup.
Yeah, that's-
Yup is our mental powerhouse. When push comes to shove.
She better fucking be.
I wonder what would happen if I eat this. Nom, 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 nom.
Look, low whiz, high int. That is
Yeah,
exactly
that's
you
exactly what it is. Exactly. Just because you have an int doesn't mean you have the wisdom to know not to eat it.
Or perhaps you just don't have the intelligence to know the wise thing to do is to try and eat it.
Or
Maybe.
you're intelligent and you know the only way to learn is by experimentation.
Right. Shove it
Yeah.
in your face.
Scientific method. You can only die once. It's fine.
In this universe, you can die plenty of times.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah. Ask
Yeah.
Vikaris.
yeah, so you can die
Die
plenty of
again,
times. If you die, you can just come back. It's fine.
Again.
Hope everyone's having a good time.
Yeah.
Adam, I hope you're ready to do, or if you're planning on doing something, you're ready.
Sure. I'll make something up.
You don't have to. I just want to make sure that you're like, if there's things you want to do, it's getting done. Or if you want to hop in on like other people's shit.
No, I'm good. I mean, I got something I'll bring up.
Okay, cool.
Ted, when you started talking to the Prince of Hearts, and I'm listening to him like, wait, did he forget he's supposed to be getting something for Centuria? What's happening here? There's like a whole thing now.
The prince was trying to go into where she was resting, so I was trying to keep the conversation going to prevent him from just walking in.
Yeah, there's a bit of subterfuge going on.
Yeah, no, I know that. Just like,
Okay.
wait a minute. you need those diamonds, boy.
She wasn't gonna die right that second, so he could wait. It's fine.
Oh, well,
He can
but-
distract first.
It is a conversation that Zashel genuinely wanted to have. It was just not at that particular time. I still need to go back and speak to Oberon. Oh god.
It's fine.
I'm having a lot of fun with these encounters.
It is a lot of fun. I agree. It is.
I'm glad.
We've basically spent like 2.5 sessions now on this, and it has been a
Just-
blast 100% of the time.
Thank God. Because I'm having a great time, but if it's just me having fun, that's a problem.
Look, we're okay luxuriating in this pool with you. It's fine. Nice pool.
Even getting to hear the conversations that I'm not a part of is just like, it's just so good. This is so good.
Yay!
Smooth Sylvan Knoll.
Honestly.
They call him.
Fucking Noel coming out and being the wheeling and dealing person of the entire group is absolutely wrecking me.
That's very funny.
He just has a way with words.
He's just very careful about words.
Although you did slip,
I
you
did.
gave Lord Threy a thank you.
That
Not that I
sounded.
can say shit, but it did happen.
You gave Oberon objectively a worse person.
Oh,
3.
100%. Yeah, no, like I
Yeah.
said, I can't say shit, but I was still
I know.
surprised.
I thought it was.
I know.
It sounded so deliberate to me.
It was a mixture. I realized as I was saying it and had a moment and then leaned into it and made it part of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cause yeah. It started like I queued it up in my brain to say the thing and then almost stopped and went, no, this is okay to be like the one slip. Noel isn't perfect.
No. And I think we're back. Adam, you here?
I am.
Okay. And Cody, Monkey, Sean, you here?
Yep.
And all right, great. I want to check in with Adam. Do you have something you'd like to do?
What's
yeah.
the Prince of Hearts up to?
He is watching. I say watching. He's turning his head as he is walking very slowly around, clearly turning in the directions of you all. as you move around.
And he's just sort of slowly walking around, mingling, that sort of stuff.
He has a couple of his attendants with him.
All right. Yop will wait until he is as isolated as he's going to get at this particular party, and then approach. Excuse me, pardon me.
Hello?
Do you have a moment?
Certainly.
I don't know if you recall. My name is Yop. Yes, and we met a little earlier, and I'm I'm ashamed to say I think I owe you a bit of an apology.
Oh. And why might that be? I'll certainly take it. For sure.
Well, you see, at the very first moment we met, I noticed your eyes, and when my eyes get like that, it means I've ingested some very wonderful substances. And so I had a thought, and it was just in my head, but I had a thought that maybe you had done the same, and then I learned that you weren't able to see, and I felt bad about it, and so I wanted to apologize, and I've been thinking what I could offer in way of apology.
And what sort of conclusion have you come to?
Well, it turns out I collect, and have for quite some time, a fair number of stories, and I thought perhaps I could share one with you that was, well, very dear to me.
His eyes do widen, and they are opaque in their color, but there is a glisten. He says, "Really?"
Yes, and if it makes it any more enticing for you, it's one that is very dear to me. But upon retelling it, it hasn't been received very well, and not many have put the same. I guess, well, interest or support or um, find as much joy in it as I do.
And would you say that this story is better told? Or is it better seen?
Oh, well, I don't know. It's very difficult. It's, well, it's only been seen once, and it was not well received at all.
It's only been seen once.
That's
Fascinating.
correct.
He steps closer to you, and he says, "Might I see it?"
Well, I'm not really sure how we could make that happen.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Well, I mean, the last performers, they were so angry they ripped up the script.
Yes.
I don't know that I could get them to perform it again.
Do I have your permission? Or no?
I'm confused. Permission for what?
Might I see this story?
Well, I mean, I'd love to show it to you. I just don't know how.
He reaches up with his hands and places his fingers against the sides of your face and begins very carefully exploring like the texture of your skin. And
Oh, I think I understand. By all means.
as he does so, his eyes close, and you recall, particularly from your own perspective, which is unique in this in this telling anyway. But you recall the rehearsals, you recall the performance, every invitation, everything about this play is relayed in front of you mentally, and then is blank. And there is no thought of it left. No memory, nothing. You do not even recall necessarily that you were intending to trade here.
Oh, hello. Why are you touching my face?
His hands withdraw, and he says, "That was really something." You are quite
Okay.
skilled. He bows his head to you.
Oh, wait, I think there's something I need to apologize for.
He
Do I have
turns.
memory that I need to apologize to him?
He turns back to you, and there's a smile, a wicked smile that falters for a moment, and he says, "No longer."
I don't understand.
You have offered your apology. I have accepted. Gracious.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you.
You have anything else?
No, I'll just sort of back away, being weirded out.
uh, okay. Zashel, did you want to? You have a couple people you still want to talk to, but you owe a conversation to the prince.
I do. And I wanted to speak to Oberon briefly.
Okay. Let's see if we can hammer that one out quickly then.
Yeah, Zashel will just walk kind of straight back up to where he's seated on the couch and wait to be sort of let through again.
Mm-hmm. You're back.
Admittedly, I am not the greatest at the wheeling and maneuvering that you that seems to go on in this court, but you mentioned last time that you were obligated to oblige a contract. I sort of took from that you don't care as much for that sort of, well, activity as many other in this court. I take it that for you the hunt is more important.
He nods.
We were informed of things to avoid saying, and yet in my carelessness I have obligated a number of debts towards you, and so I am, well, one was careless, the second admittedly a test of my own self, and then the third a test of you. You had the ability to compel me to agree to your contract. You, in fact, had the ability to compel me without repayment. I don't know what... I don't really understand how you, or why, rather, but I am here to settle these affairs just in case I am unable to do so later. I will agree for myself, not for my franchise, to the offer you have made.
Excellent.
Further, this seems appropriate, and Zasha will reach into his jacket and pull out one of the 2 snow globes that he purchased when he was in Waterdeep. This is not exceedingly valuable on its own. There are many like it. It was purchased with another, which has already been given to its intended recipient. This one was meant for Crib, my father. Having met you second, obviously, this statement is not a question of standing, but simply time. You remind me greatly of him. Obviously, he is not an archfey. He is a warrior, he is a hunter, and he is a would-be poet. But he is also an honorable man. You had the ability to compel me, and you did not. I can only assume that there is a similar, well, I won't say warrior's honor, as I am not much of a warrior, as hard as my father might have tried. Regardless, I would present this to you instead. And I will just set it on the table.
His eyes move from you to it and continue to stare at it.
After a moment, Zasha will pick it up and turn it over so that it does the snow globe thing and set it back down.
He says nothing more.
Zasha will simply nod and turn to leave.
Okay. One second.
Yeah, after stepping out of the mirror, I'd probably go find Zashel. Whenever I could.
No problem. Yep. And?
Oh, sorry.
No.
Yeah, you said 1 sec, so I was like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Noel will approach and just nod. It is done.
Excellent.
I'm not sure if any remains, but it did not appear
cannot
so.
speak. You begin to move your mouth, and you
Mhm.
utter no words, and you cannot make any shapes with your mouth.
Yeah, Noel points at his mouth.
I will hope that as much as possible, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. I will assume that you have done all that you could, and I will eventually see the result, I suppose.
Yeah, I feel like Noel tries to nod and can't nod.
Yeah,
It
kinda.
just pauses. A contract is a contract.
Understood.
Yeah. Noel
Say,
turns to walk away as we see Yop coming up.
say,
Ah.
hey, I'm feeling a little foggy all of a sudden. And did they say something to us about that mirror over there?
Hmm.
No?
Well, I saw you guys going in and out. What's in there?
We were having a conversation with
With
our host.
oh, wonderful. How's she doing?
Well,
Noel is conspicuously silent.
we were discussing certain renegotiations, or as much clarification also. It,
Oh, wonderful. Tell me the new terms.
the terms are largely the same. It is more that I was clarifying, physical positioning as much as anything else. Trying
Restructuring.
to understand how likely it would be that we could um, participate in the Lord's proffered offer. For the most part, little has changed. I am confident we will be able to carry out the terms which again have stayed the same. Keep the rabble away from Chandria. That is the most important thing we can do right now. Well, not right now, but when it becomes time.
No,
This
so
is true.
there wasn't any renegotiation then.
Yeah, no, like I apologize. Like I said, more clarification than full renegotiation. I had meant to address the same issue that I dealt with the last time we were here regarding naming within final reports, but come to think of it, I never actually got to that part. Another time.
Very well then. Well,
Are you okay? You look...
yeah, not really sure what's. It seemed to. I mean, I remember dancing with Betty,
Hmm.
and then I was walking back from the other corner of the room. It's very strange. I haven't even had any of my tea.
Who did you speak with?
Yeah, I spoke with the Prince of Hearts, I
Hmm.
think. I mean, after dancing with Betty, the first thing I remember is him touching my face.
Hmm. Did you make a contract?
Oh, no, I went over to apologize to him, and he said no apology was necessary, and that was the end of it.
He touched your face, though, you said.
Well, yes, it was quite strange. I don't remember him actually reaching out to touch my face, but I remember his hands on my face. It was rather presumptive, if I must say so.
Noel glances at Zashel as his mouth goes from like a pleasant smile to a very like grim flat line.
You know, now that I think about it, I think he owes me an apology.
Hmm. Would you like a partner in negotiation with him for this apology?
Hmm. I don't know. Let me think about whether or not I'd like to press the issue.
Mm-hmm. Are you well? Do you feel well?
Oh, I feel just fine. Other than the brief sort of missing time, I feel wonderful.
Is anything else missing?
Well, Noel, how would I know that?
We will investigate this more rigorously at a later date, yes? We will determine if something has been taken from you.
Well, if he took something, he definitely owes me an apology.
Unless you gave it to him.
I didn't offer to give him anything. I was dancing with Betty, and then he was touching my face.
Yeah, Noel gives Zashel a look. This is you or me.
I have a standing conversation with the prince myself, so I will leave this to you.
Do you want assistance with your conversation?
That should not be necessary.
To update you, then. I have been somewhat successful with negotiations. I will need to clarify a point before I decide if I am to conclude the negotiations. The price may be too high.
Well, as long as you have weighed the costs, also keep in mind that we may be in better negotiating positions after this event. However, we or those we are negotiating with might also be dead. So those are simply things to consider while negotiating.
I'm not real sure what either of you two are talking about, but you do raise an interesting point. Maybe I'll wait to press the Prince of Hearts for an apology after I see whether or not he's still alive. I'd feel pretty bad about making him apologize for something as one of his last acts as part of the living. If he dies, I guess I can let it go.
That is the case with most things I have found. Do you want to listen in on
Dance? Yes, Noel, I'd love to.
A dance in a moment.
Satchel simply pats Noel on the shoulder, reaches up to pat Noel on the shoulder, and then walks off.
Yeah, as you walk up, you hear, do you want to, after a dance, listen in on my negotiations? I would not be offended.
Oh, sure.
I would
Let's go
caution
around.
you, as he's getting dragged off, I would caution you against speaking too much during these negotiations. But listening and observing is good.
Yop acts as if she's buttoning her lip.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Nola's not good at dancing. At all.
That's fine. Yop's
Actually,
gonna
you know,
leave.
This is probably the first time he has ever danced.
yeah, Yop is a good leader.
Yeah.
I'm following the sequence. Yep, you give me a sequence.
Yeah, you just move your feet in a box. One to the left, one back, one to the right, one up, one to the left, one back, one to the right, one
is-
up. You just keep doing that.
It is math, but directional math.
This is called the box step.
Mhm. You see Noel, like, he is concentrating harder than he's literally concentrated on anything, with a look of like pure focus. Like, he doesn't even concentrate this hard when he's really into paperwork. He's like staring down at his feet, trying not to step on his robe.
Betty, help him out. And Betty is now standing next to Noel, making a step to the left, a step back, a step to the right, a step up.
Which surely doesn't help.
Yeah, for the first
Of
like
course.
minute and a half, every step you hear Noel with like the deep like chest voice going after each step.
Alright. I want to check in on Lauren. How you doing, Lauren?
I think she'll continue having the conversation, and I guess asking about what things he has in his, I guess, kingdom. Is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
The right term? Yeah.
Yeah, he tells you of an enormous underwater palace that is one of the oldest structures within the entirety of the Feywild, and how it shifts with tides into beautiful sunlit shallows, and then can move with fluidity into the dark depths. And it's and he goes on and on. But
I think
it's legitimately neat.
after a while, she will excuse herself and says, I believe I need to talk to our documents or to request some time off from work after this.
Sure.
She slips on her shoes again and then goes and finds Snow.
Yeah, like in the middle of dancing with Yop.
She will try to dance along until it feels like an appropriate time to ask no.
No, you see, Lauren, what you do is you tap me on the shoulder and ask if you can cut in.
Could I please cut in?
Yes, certainly. No's a wonderful dancer.
How does this sequence work with 3? It is not even.
I do not understand either. I think we were just going in a circle.
But it is.
It
I
doesn't make
hand it
sense.
all off to Lauren and dance off with Betty.
Okay. The
Yes,
sequence is 2 forward, 2 back, 2 left, 2 right.
I
And
actually.
then turn.
Oh, okay. She follows along as he just out loud.
Yop is a good teacher of dance.
Yop is very good at explaining things. I actually wanted to talk to you about some paperwork.
Have you made a contract?
Not yet.
Have you verbally agreed to anything?
I believe so, yes. On the stipulation that I finish this paperwork and get time off.
That is. Time off is not ill-advised. A verbal agreement with one of these creatures is ill-advised. What is the manner of this agreement?
To visit their kingdom, and so I would need some vacation time.
Now 2 steps back. Yes, you require vacation.
The problem is I am unsure of the duration of the vacation. Because I believe you understand that time moves differently in this realm versus our own.
Interesting. Then we should stipulate time relative to prime material. Much time might occur here, but the time that matters is the time.
Yes.
Where
Do
the
you know
lighthouse
the
is located.
conversion rate from time here versus time in the material plane?
I do not, but it should not matter if the contract is sound.
Yes,
You will
but that
be.
doesn't help me. I'm
These are questions you may need to ask of who?
and she points to him because she can't remember his name.
Hmm. And you wish to go with him for vacation.
Well, no, I need vacation time from work to visit his kingdom.
Are you to be an honored guest then?
I believe honored guest is a bit too high ranking for what I would be visiting as.
If I were to write down the purpose for your visit, is it recreation or business? Or contractual?
Can it be all three?
Technically, yes.
Then I would go with all three.
Then, if you would like, I can accompany you for a moment to negotiate this contract. You can stipulate an amount of time in his realm, which seems appropriate for both of you, and we will stipulate an amount of time in our realm, which is appropriate. Say 3 to 4 days.
Wait, 3 to 4 days in our time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's how time works.
What do you mean?
I look around. Let's go ask Yop. And I'll drag him to go find Yop. Yop is smart.
Yep, we have a question about time.
Oh, well, it's a good thing you came to me.
Do you know how much time has elapsed in the prime material since we have been in here?
Give me 1 second. And Yop pulls out some scraps of paper and her wand of ink and proceeds to do a great number of calculations.
Noah's like leaning in further and further, like eyes widening.
And scratching
Uh-huh.
stuff out and going back over and flipping some pages over to check variable values from another page and a different set of calculations before she looks up and says, no.
Oh, that was impressive.
Yop, do you know who would know?
Oh, well, I would imagine that any number of the denizens who call this place home would probably know the proper conversion rate.
I was hoping we would figure it out without having to bother them.
Thank you for teaching me how to dance, Yop.
Oh,
Lauren,
you're very welcome.
should we go speak with your friend?
I feel like it's more of a private matter that I don't need you to write the contract out for. I just need to submit proper paperwork to have an extended leave.
But
Wait,
you
you're
want to
going
be
on leave?
Vacation of sorts.
Oh, wonderful. Vacations are a wonderful opportunity to rejuvenate the mind and body and soul. Where will you be going for your vacation?
This is also necessary information.
Really?
Yes.
I need paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
kind of looks at No and sighs and like, okay, all right, let's go. She'll take her
Why
back to the table she was sitting
is
at.
this a point of shame?
It's not. It's more of, it's not any of your business.
I will stop some distance away. You can proceed and ask your friend how much time happens in his realm relative to our realm, yes? Then you will know.
No, you're going to look awfully conspicuous if you're just standing there.
Why
I
don't
often
you
do.
go back to dancing with Yop? I'll be back.
I have contracts of my own to negotiate. But if you need assistance, simply let me know. No, like puts a hand onto Lauren's shoulder and nods. Good luck.
Oh, you have the forms and the questions that I need?
Where, when, for how long? Broadly.
She'll write that down. Okay. And then she'll go ask answers to those questions.
It becomes very clear. Like I think it's been clear during the conversation. He wants to like you seem to be as curious of a person as you are. Naturally, he very much wants to take you like on an adventure. Like he wants to like take you exploring the deep ocean of the Fae. But it'd be in the Coral Court. He's going to actually propose like the better part of a month.
He's
But
gonna
that is up to you.
propose.
It is up to you whether or not that is something Lauren is comfortable with.
Okay, so it would be 1 month of his in Fae time, right?
I think he makes it clear the translation is very difficult for him to grasp because living in the ocean and in a place where the sun doesn't move, time is weird. Also, elves and long rests and all that. But after some communication, it'll be a month of material time.
Okay. But would I know how long that would be? And is Fae time longer or shorter? Because I don't.
Longer. Oh no! Wait. It is shorter. It is shorter.
Okay, so it's a month of material plane time, but could only be a few days in Fae time. I just don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem that long. I thought it would be longer from the initial conversation.
Well, if you're interested, I mean, well, you can stay as long as you like.
Oh, I think I believe you said could be seasons. So I just thought I'm really bad with time. I think 1 month's material time sounds fine. And if there's still more to see, we could figure out another time to meet up again, perhaps.
He grins and nods.
I will write down all the information he has told me and then go back to Noel.
Yeah, you notice Noel has been standing like over to the side, over like here, just watching and waiting for you to come back.
It's kind of creepy.
Mhm.
Could have stood further away. She will recite the information that he was asking for.
A month is quite a long amount of time. It may be prudent to ask Zashel.
Okay, I will go. Where is Zashel? I will search for Zashel.
He is in the middle of an important. You see him like glance over to Zashel talking to the Prince of Hearts. An important negotiation.
I will wait until Zashel is finished.
What's Krellick doing after? Like, is he just spending the rest of the day with or the rest of the time with Grox, or is he doing other things now?
Insanity.
What?
Join us in the insanity.
Okay, you guys are playing your own game over there. Is Chandria like, is she back over by her spot, or is she milling around
Yes.
somewhere?
Yeah, she is returned to the what would appear to be a seat of honor
Okay.
in observation.
How's the vibe around her? Like, is she having a good time, or people around her like having a good time?
Why don't you make me an insight check?
Yeah, sure. I have advantage on this.
You have advantage.
It's a 19.
There are plenty of fey creatures that would appear that they are trying to keep the mood light. She is posturing and pretending to pretending to be pleasant. But there is the agitation that you've seen from her so far still.
Okay. Cool. I assume they're like, I assume there's like, people with drinks, but is there like, can I get like a big drink? Like, how do I get a lot of drink?
Ask Bishop.
I just say Bishop's name.
He appears around your shoulder.
Oh, you got that is very cool. It is very cool.
Thank you.
Bishop, I need 2 big glasses of whatever passes for ale around here.
Define big.
Like
This big.
Yeah, I make a bit this big. It's like real big German beer stein, like very large.
He seems to contemplate this with some curiosity, and then turns back and passes behind you, and then returns. And he's a Firbolg. He is big, and bears 2 very large cups for you.
Excellent.
All right. Thanks, Bishop. I'll be seeing you around.
He nods.
I take my 2 cups and I walk over to Miss Chandria.
She beckons you forward.
I walk up and hand her one of the glasses out towards her and say,
You look bored as fuck.
She doesn't respond except by drinking.
I take a sip and kind of look out at the party.
Yeah, normally I don't go in for these sorts of things all the time, but it's a pretty good little shindig you got going on here.
It's a gracious compliment.
Hey, I was just wondering, what's like the gnarliest thing that you ever fought?
To date,
Yeah.
there is a tapestry of a storm in one of the greater halls. It is a roiling cloud of lightning and rain, and it had to be tamed.
How do you fight the wind and like rain?
By being stronger.
It's a good answer. That actually checks out, I think.
She smiles. It was bottled and given to to Tanya, who in turn traded it to the Coral Court.
Well, she gave your gift away.
It was an act of good favor at the coronation of Elias and Siobhan.
Who's they?
The masters of the ocean and the rivers, water. And she throws her arm over the couch and points in a broad gesture across the dance hall to where Elias is.
Okay. Well, him and like another person.
His sister.
Okay. What did I mean? It just did you get like I don't know, like a recognition?
Of course. I am a killer, and I am a soldier. I am no hunter. If ever I do a favor for the others of outside such talents as they are aware that I have, it is a favor in exchange.
Yeah, I think like the craziest thing I thought was like a big ogre. It's like
How
real
big?
Oh, bigger than you.
She scoffs and brushes her nose.
It's true.
Uh-huh.
My friend Yop, she made me real big.
How big do you get?
I mean, pretty big.
Uh-huh. Is this a trait of your kind?
No, it's like she does like magic. It's like a magic.
Mm-hmm. Learned then, not, within the blood.
I don't know what she does with it.
She, puts her foot up to the table and pushes it away, and then moves, on the couch to make room for you.
I'll sit next to her and raise a glass and drink heavy from it.
So,
You
I begin-
see immediately that there are creatures around you that are whispering and glaring.
I begin to say something out loud, and then I stop myself, and look around for a moment, and I say,
well, this thing's like going on for a while. When's the party supposed to start?
I intend to allow you to all rest before you will be brought back here, and the dinner will be set shortly.
I see. I look forward to the dinner.
As do I. Who has been chosen to sit at the high table?
I don't really know. Probably not me.
Shame. She drinks.
Yeah. You know, I'm not, I'll be getting better at it, but I don't. I kind of say what's on my mind a lot of the time, and
Mm-hmm.
my friends kind of, you know, I can get myself into trouble.
You think you're in trouble now?
A little bit, maybe.
She laughs.
I laugh a bit too.
Look, I just came to say hi and make sure you was ready.
Always.
I give her a smile and nod and kind of just sit back and kind of it's a little like like look at me, look where I am.
Right.
I'll turn, meet eyes with Oberon and give him a nod, a little sup.
You look to him and he is already staring at you. And he nods back to you.
Cool.
Alright, Zashel.
Yeah.
Your last conversation?
Yeah, I guess at some point I need to have that final bit with the Prince of Hearts.
Mm-hmm. Back so soon.
My errand is complete. There were a few other things that required my attention, but they have been dealt with. I am curious for your insight.
May I? And he puts his hands up near your chest and face.
Go ahead.
He presses his fingers over your lapel, and then to your temple, little nails catching on your scales. And he says, "What does it feel like to be with someone who makes you feel seen?"
Zashel looks confused at the question. Feel seen? In what way?
Known, cared for, appreciated.
I suppose that would depend on the individual. There are multiple ways to be seen and appreciated. Here, the previous efforts on behalf of this place have made the princess appreciative for our work, as I'm sure you are aware. My benefactor, who provides me a certain amount of my power.
Yes, the
My
one who is
family.
not here.
Correct.
And these others. There's three. Younger. Yes.
Younger. My siblings. 4.
Yes. Yes.
They are younger. It is my responsibility to care for them, make sure that they are safe from harm.
Mm-hmm. And that is all you feel for them? Obligation? Contractual obligation? After a fashion?
It is clear that they feel things for me as well, which I have come to anticipate, even appreciate on some level.
Mm. I wonder if you are interested to know the depth of this affection.
On my part,
On theirs.
I expect it's similar to any younger sibling for their older. Admittedly, with my brother, things were strained for a long time, but
He nods. All those aside, there are unusually stronger threads still here. Which of these? Where do they all go? Which creature holds the greatest amount of draw to you?
thought that's what I came here for you to tell me. You
Well,
can see these connections in a manner that I cannot, in a manner that I barely recognize. I have tried to understand them. I have seen them in other people and know that I probably should have similar thoughts, but they simply don't come.
His hands begin to turn the one near your chest as if it is coiling a bit of thread around his finger, and you feel a tug within you that hurts for a second and then feels like pride and excitement and vindication. And you can begin to feel as if you are baring your teeth again. And then he unspools this filament and it begins to subside.
Zashel is suddenly focused on something that is 90 degrees off of the Prince of Hearts. Yes.
Let's walk. And he puts his arm through yours.
I will get up. I will summon Quetzal back to my shoulder because I'm now realizing that he's trapped behind a mirror somewhere on his own. And then I will walk wherever. I will head back the way we came. Back like we all came in through this side towards that hallway. That Bishop,
Mhm.
basically towards like the battlements and our room and out of here.
Mm-hmm. You think they're near?
I think this conversation is a strange one, and one perhaps best not conducted around individuals who might it's better to just have it out here.
How did you feel?
This is not a new sensation entirely. Once before, it has made sense to me a long time ago.
Do you wish to pursue this feeling?
I do not know.
I can't help you unless you know what you want.
The last time that this made sense, the last time that this was something I recognized, and Zash will reach into his coat and pull out the small paper box that he got out of his room.
He holds out his hands.
I will show you.
I
And show
won't take
you
them.
only. And Zashel will open up the box, and he pulls out a pair of the gaudiest socks that you have ever seen. They are blue and green stripes with patterns of pink and yellow triangles. They have clearly been darned multiple times. They are falling apart.
Well, I can sense certainly how important these are, but my dear, you should probably just afford new ones. He smiles.
These are not used anymore. They are the first time that I saw something that provided a true sense of self, of not just self, but I believe the word is joy of self. They fit. You understand why this is confusing, I hope.
I can imagine. And there is something else that makes you feel like this?
Not exactly the same, but it was... Well, it used to be a rather unique experience. I have many similar to this, but none have sparked quite the same realization, connection. I don't.
Hmm. You are a very fun little puzzle. I see one of these threads tied very deeply to someone who feels very close physically. And then another that is built of a different stuff for something far away. I can only imagine on the material.
Ah, yes, my benefactor, who, as I said, provides a certain amount of my abilities. It is a long-standing connection for which I have grave concerns, but they are ones I can do very little about.
Hmm. Well, I could cheat. And I could pull on this thread and see who appears on the other end of it. But I feel as if there is something that you would owe to me if I were to do something so bold and boring.
I do not believe that will be necessary. I was more trying to understand the nature of the connection itself, not not where it went.
Hmm. Well, love comes in so many forms. Sorry, Logan just said that he's married to the Roomba. Love comes in many forms. There is passionate, caring love. There is complacent and enduring love. And there is burning rival that also is empowered by a spirit of kindness as such. I think there might be an intermingling of all of these, frankly, within you and with people here that you've come with. There is certainly something of the first, which ordinarily would be surprising, but it is quite sweet. And he picks at this thread again that only he seems to be able to perceive, and pulls it again to evoke that same feeling. Sorry.
Satchel very awkwardly smiles. That is not something I normally do.
Well, I'm very flattered to have seen it twice. Might you have further inquiry?
I do, but we will, if you will, indulge me, save that for after the rest of the festivities. There is always the chance that it will be rendered moot.
He nods. All right. Noel,
Mm-hmm.
have you decided?
I have one more quick question to ask of the Fate Spinner. That can either wait or we can do it now.
We'll do it now.
Mhm.
I want to get you guys to the point where you can take your long rest
Yeah.
for next time.
Murder some giants.
Noel will essentially ask a moment of your time.
Is this the one that has been prearranged?
Preferably not, as I'm still discussing business.
Very well.
Of what value is the boon Thray offers to you specifically?
To me,
Hmm.
roll a persuasion check.
Huh. Okay.
Thray is in a vulnerable position, with no heir to his throne. And a dangerous place where he lives. It is quite powerful, though I doubt sincerely that any true harm should come to him within the allotted time promised by this exchange. I doubt it, but I cannot guarantee it. That is not for me to decide.
So you seek personal advantage, specifically.
I seek to reorder balance after the Queen of Cats seeks to upset it, as she always does.
In the reordering of the balance, though, Thray specifically is to be the target. Yes,
She nods.
he has violated the balance then, up until this point.
Not per se, but his sacrifice will be enough to offset whatever harm the Queen might pursue.
He asks of me a cost which is substantial, and I may not be able to give it. So I came to you to ask of what value his boon is specifically.
Perhaps there is a precious thought or memory that you could provide. You would not miss it. It would simply be gone, but it would belong to another.
It is mine, though.
It is ultimately yours to decide whether or not you share. And you might not entirely be capable of deciding what it is that it might be, although any honorable bargainer would allow you to choose. Thray is nothing but honorable.
If I do not see this contract through, will we still be on amenable terms?
We shall, per our contract. She grins.
Yeah, Noel nods solemnly. I may have to then decline to give of a memory of myself.
It is a
They are-
sacrifice of your identity.
They are spare. Those which Lord Thray requires. Spare. Not very many.
You have once again piqued my curiosity, Scrivener.
Mm-hmm. I think Noel nods and says, "We will speak again at another time." Yes. I have to
shall.
close out accounts.
She allows you to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think as much as As much as I want him to, I don't think Noel is gonna part with one, especially not one of those memories.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go to Thray and essentially politely decline. And draw a contract that says like formal negotiations have ended and both parties agree that this is so.
You do not wish to offer anything new?
You have stated your terms plainly. I have considered, and I do not believe that I can give of what you ask. Or rather that I can, but I do not wish to.
Not even the sacrifice of some unifying information.
What do you mean by unifying information?
I believe there was some conversation about our dear host that I would appreciate being privy to.
This I unfortunately cannot give. And furthermore, contractual honor dictates that I not give this to you. Although I appreciate you requesting.
I don't believe I am going to request. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, and you have disadvantage.
Oh!
No joke, skin of your teeth. You remember with clarity thanking him.
Mm-hmm.
You feel your foot stepping forward, and there is the clarity of Chandria saying in your head, "Swear it." And you freeze. There is a good moment where your body is not your own and you are frozen. And you see Thray forward in his seat with one hand extended. And there is a shake and a falter, and his hand drops. And then he waves for you to leave.
Noel like pauses for a second, looks at him, says, "A contract is a contract. That was bad faith. Goodbye."
And I think...
Yeah, there'll be a perfunctory conversation with the cat, where unfortunately I inform her that I cannot fulfill as it is too high, but that she saw and likely heard me engage to the best of my ability.
Yes, she shares disappointment, but she is not angry.
I honored the contract.
Yes, you did.
God.
We are going to call it there. Everyone take a long rest. We'll have time for you all to reconvene at the beginning of next session. We'll do our final set piece, and then we'll get to a fight. How's that sound?
Hell yeah.
So does that mean I'll ask Zasho if I can take a month off next time?
I think you'll have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, right after we wake up in the morning, because he seems to be busy all night. Yeah.
Sarah, could I
plenty
have
of time? Actually, I'm up all night because I do not require sleep.
But I require sleep.
True.
I just asked you before bed. It's fine. We'll just say this happened before the long rest.
Yeah.
What's up, Sean?
Could I have Krellick spend the remainder of his time, before we do the rest and all that, there, in a place of honor with Chandria and the bigwigs, telling them filthy pirate jokes.
Yes, absolutely. This
Yeah.
is to her great amusement, and this is frankly to many of the other fays, particularly the Wild Hunt. They are way into this. There are many nobility that can be kind of politely indicated to you, even though I don't think you care, as the Twilight Council, that have extreme displeasure for your presence here, but they will not say a damn thing, although they will continue to glare at you. But mostly, everybody loves this.
Excellent. Excellent. I
Fuck
figure
yeah, I love-
I
love
drank
that.
quite a bit, and just like, well, I can talk about this at least.
Could you make me a performance check real quick?
I can. I even have a limerick. Should you need one?
I need one.
Oh, that feels like
baby.
advantage. If I ever heard of advantage,
Yes, you'll have
This
advantage,
man
but I
made
gotta
a
hear the
limerick.
limerick first.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I take a drink, and like I do, I wave my hands like I'm calming a group of people, right? It's like, oh, okay, all right, here we go, okay, all right. I once knew a pirate named Bates who danced the fandango on skates. He fell on his cutlass, which rendered him nutless and practically useless on dates.
Jesus Christ.
just imagine me over here
Nix.
throwing inspiration in piles at you. Just
No,
everything. The world
nix
is
the
yours.
check. This is a flat success immediately. Oberon is screaming, laughing. And then shouting very loudly to Chandria, where the hell did this guy come from? And he needs to stick around.